Hey everybody, Michelle with Triangle Social Media coming into the Facebook group and YouTube, sharing just some tips every week at 12:30. Social Soundbites with Michelle. Like to share some social media tips and maybe answer questions. And today have a pop-in visitor. So what we're going to do is I'm going to screen share just to kind of show you this graphic that every week I share, and it has all different kinds of stats and trivia and just things to know. So screen sharing ourselves. Here we go. On my, this is my Facebook business page. Invite you to connect there. And I just had a lovely interview with my friend Helena, Social Soundbites Business Interviews. Invite you to watch that on my page and several other places. But here is one example of, just some trivia. And there's a lot of different stats, and of course they change over time, right? Because things are changing, people's habits are changing, and there's so many different streams of things that we're working on with our business. And marketing encompasses so many different things, right? So one of those things is your email. You're marketing yourself through your emails, and whether you do it on your own or you outsource this to somebody who does that. Here's a stat just talking about how people are tending to use their mobile devices. That can be tracked, where they're opening it, who's opening it, how often, and all the numbers and analytics that help you to fine tune what you're doing, what your processes are. And so let me just come back. I have a friend with me today. Stop sharing. There we go. My friend Wendy Harrington with Beacon Creative Lab, and she's an expert at this. And so I thought, let me bring her on. Let me pop her into the stream here on StreamYard. Hey, Wendy.
Hey, nice to see you.
Thank you so much for coming on with me here.
Thanks for inviting me.
I love your brand and everything that you do. And I thought, why not pick your brain for a minute, or just give you a platform where you could share some tidbits on email marketing, and just really go ahead and take the floor, introduce yourself, and share some things with us that will be helpful.
Oh, well, awesome. Happy to do it. I have a company called Beacon Creative Lab. And the goal, everything that we do is really catalyzing small businesses to greater success. And branding and content and email marketing are among the strategies that we like to focus on, because it's really the place where we feel like the most value happens. It just reinforces the positive activities that service businesses in particular do when they meet one-on-one. And we hear from a lot of people that they have a bit of a struggle in, how do they grow their list? And the very first step, I think, is a bit psychological, because there's a part of us that feels like we're sort of intruding when we go into somebody's email box. We don't like it when we get spammed. We don't like it when, we get stuff we don't need. So, like with any kind of content, whether you're putting it in social media or anywhere else, it's all about what can you offer that's going to be helpful to the person, that's going to help build a relationship. So think of it more like that you're communicating to people who are fans of yours at some level, and you're being able to do it in a way that isn't, I would say, maybe guided or sometimes interfered, depending on how you want to think about it, with by the platforms that we see that, while they're great, things can change. And so what you thought you could do in a Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever sometimes is different. And with your website and with email marketing, you have that one-on-one relationship going. So, that's really one of the main advantages of having email, is being able to tailor something specifically to an individual and, have that rapport go between the two of you. And in terms of growing the list, I made a little, there's so many different ways you could do it, but I made kind of a short list of things that I, hope would help people if you want to get started. One is real simple. In your email signature of the emails that you already send out to to anybody you're doing business with, you can include a link. That link could go to a landing page that you set up with your email, whatever your email service is, whether you're using, Constant Contact or MailChimp or iContact or whatever. So that's one way. You can have that be a direct thing that says, follow me directly through email. I would recommend not saying subscribe or sign up unless you absolutely have to because of, an automated button, because people tend to think of that as being something that's paid. And what you want is more like an extension of a relationship that you might have, someone's just following you. And so that might be a better word, or it could be, get exclusive insider tips or something like that, something that creates a little bit of urgency. But if you don't feel like you want to just always have a promotional thing in your email signature, you could also link to some valuable content on your website, whether it's a blog post, and this could change up periodically. You don't have to use the same one all the time, or a particular, an announcement for a webinar that you're doing or something along those lines. Just make sure that on the page that they go to, there will be somewhere on there a pop-up or a form that invites them to sign up for your email newsletter. And this is great if you think of, let's say you send them to your blog. You don't necessarily want to hit them right away with the, get the email sign up. But once they scroll down, or if they've been on the page for a little while, at that point, you could invite them to, say to them in the message, like, oh, you seem to be enjoying this content. If you'd like to get more, sign up for my email. So now it's just, again, it's sort of a natural extension. They've visited your store and, they seem to be having a good time. Now you can kind of keep them going. So those, that's kind of a simple way to grow connections with people you're having a certain amount of contact with outside of, kind of other platforms. You can do something along the same lines in your social media by creating a few different posts, and you put those out. Again, you can link to your blog article or something like that. And it doesn't always have to be a sign up, but you certainly can do posts and probably should do posts periodically. Just put it into your regular rotation that I know, Michelle, you talk to us about all the time. Maybe it's once a week or once every couple of weeks, you have this post that, comes through and, talks about, again, some exclusive content, something you're not necessarily sharing already in social media. So that's helpful, and you don't even have to give anything away. At that point, you're creating value by the message that you're sharing, of this being something unique. And I know that's something that you've been doing a little bit of too, Michelle, right?
Yes, those are some great, awesome tips. And I want to recommend Wendy, if anybody needs help with their email or their blog. She is wonderful. Definitely recommend you. And I know that there's so many different things you could share strategy-wise, right? From your perspective about what you do, and then just expanding out to the social media and all the different places where you could share and the creative ways. I'm still working on that myself, and definitely invite anybody who's interested in joining, following me. I'm not going to use the word subscribe. My email newsletter, email me, Michelle@trianglesocialmedia.com, and I'll send you the link. But that is really helpful to know. And I think that for people who don't already have an email list, it is another way to reach people in a different way, because we don't always have a guarantee for the social media platforms to be there. We don't own them. So definitely recommend you have a website, you have an email list so that you can connect and stay connected with, people that they're your clients, they're your customers, they're prospective clients and business partners, and all the different categories, right? So I think those are good things to consider if you haven't already. So thank you so much for coming on, Wendy. Appreciate you and your expertise. And please do put the link to your website and social media in the thread of the video here, in case anyone is interested in, reaching out. I would love that.
Absolutely.
Connections. And so we will see everybody next Wednesday at 12:30 with some more social media tips.
Perfect.
You guys have a great day.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye.